Hi, everyone. Before I begin, I want you to take a deep breath and just pause. Life is moving fast, responsibilities are piling up, the world is loud, but sometimes all we need is a gentle reminder of what really matters. I read something recently that really struck a chord with me: 6 important guidelines of life. Simple, clear, but incredibly powerful. These are not just quotes, these are principles. Principles that can anchor us when everything feels unstable. Today, I want to take you on a journey through these 6 timeless lesson zones step at a time. And we begin with the very first one. 1. When you are alone, mind your thoughts. Let me ask you a question. What do you say to yourself when no one else is around? That voice inside your head, it can be your best friend or your worst enemy. When you're alone, that's when your mind speaks the loudest. It tells you what you really believe. It reminds you of your fears, your regrets, your insecurities, but it can also remind you of your dreams, your purpose, your worth. That's why you must be careful with your thoughts, because your thoughts shape your feelings. Your feelings shape your actions, and your actions become your life. Let me share a personal moment with you. There was a time in my life when I felt stuck. I was comparing myself to others, questioning my path, doubting my purpose, and the worst part, I never said it out loud. I kept smiling. I kept showing up, but in my alone moments, I was tearing myself down. Until one day, I said to myself, why am I being my own bully? Why am I fighting battles that don't even exist yet? And that's when it changed. I started guarding my thoughts. Whenever a negative thought entered, I'd counter it with truth. Whenever fear whispered, I'd answer with faith. When shame tried to settle in, I reminded myself, I am worthy, I am enough, and I am loved. Your mind is like a garden. If you plant doubt, fear, and insecurity, it will grow. But if you plant faith, gratitude, and self-love, those will grow too. So next time you're alone, pay attention. What are you thinking about? Would you say those same things to your best friend? If not, don't say them to yourself either. Because the greatest battles are not out there, they're in here. And the good news is, you have the power to win. Remember, you become what you believe. So believe in something beautiful. Believe in a brighter tomorrow. And most importantly, believe in you. Let's be honest. Words are powerful. They don't just pass through the air. They enter hearts. They plant seeds. They build or break. That's why when you're with your friends, your circle, your people, you need to mind your tongue. Why? Because what you say in casual moments can become someone else's lifelong memory. You never know who's hurting behind the laughter. You never know who's fighting silent battles behind the smiles. And sometimes a single careless word, even said as a joke, can leave a wound that never fully heals. You see, friendships are sacred. They're not built overnight, they're built over time, trust, and truth. But all it takes is one unguarded comment to shake that foundation. Let me share something I've learned. When you're with friends, speak with love, speak with intention. Don't just aim to be funny, aim to be kind. Yes, jokes are fun, laughter is beautiful, but never let humor come at the cost of someone's dignity. Because here's the truth. A sharp tongue can cut deeper than a knife. There was a season in my life when I craved to be heard, to be funny, to be seen. So I talked a lot, but somewhere along the way, I said things that may have hurt the people closest to me. Not because I was cruel, but because I wasn't careful. And when I look back, I realize words can't be unsaid. You can say sorry, but sometimes the damage has already been done. So now I choose differently. When I'm with my friends, I ask myself, will my words heal or harm? Will this comment lift them up or tear them down? Is it necessary? Is it true? Is it kind? Because real friendship isn't about always being the loudest. It's about being the safest place. A place where people can breathe easy, be themselves, and know that they are valued. We live in a world that already speaks too much criticism. Let your words be the soft landing your friends need. Let your tongue speak life, not labels. Let your voice be the one that reminds them you matter. Because at the end of the day, people won't always remember what you wore or where you went, but they will remember how you made them feel. So when you're with friends, choose words that build, choose words that bless, and choose words you won't regret. 3, when you are angry, mind your temper. Let's talk about something we all feel, but sometimes we try to hide it or ignore it. Anger. Anger is real, it's natural. It's part of being human. Even the kindest people get angry. Even the most patient ones feel that fire inside. But here's what we often forget: anger is not the problem, uncontrolled anger is. That's why the third guideline says, when you are angry, mind your temper. Because anger might last a moment, but the damage it can cause may last a lifetime. I want you to imagine this. You're holding a glass of boiling water, and someone bumps into you. The water spills and it burns. Now think of that boiling water as your anger. When you're full of it, when you're on edge, even the smallest nudge, the smallest offense can make you explode. You say things you didn't mean. You raise your voice. You slam doors. You hurt people who had nothing to do with the pain you're carrying. And once it's out, you can't take it back. So how do we mind our temper? We pause. We breathe. We recognize the emotion before it controls us. There's a powerful saying, speak when you are angry and you'll make the best speech you'll ever regret. And that is so true. When we're angry, our mind is cloudy. We're not thinking about truth, we're thinking about release. And in trying to let go of what's inside us, we end up transferring pain to others. But here's the beautiful thing. Anger doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you're feeling something deeply. It means something matters to you. And that's okay. What's important is how you respond. There was a time in my life when I let anger dictate my actions. I thought expressing it was strength. But later I realized real strength is staying calm when you have every reason to lose it. It's saying, I'm upset, but I choose peace. It's walking away when silence speaks louder than rage. It's letting love lead when ego wants to take over. You're not weak for staying calm. You're wise. And that wisdom protects your relationships, your peace, and your character. So next time anger rises, don't suppress it, but don't let it explode either. Acknowledge it. Express it healthily. Maybe go for a walk, write it out, pray, talk to someone you trust. But whatever you do, mind your temper, because you are more than the moment. And the people who love you are worth more than a fight. 4, when you are with a group, mind your behavior. Let's face it, when we're with a group, whether it's friends, co-workers, classmates, or even strangers, there's this invisible pressure to blend in, to belong, to be accepted. And sometimes, in that effort to fit in, we lose sight of who we really are. That's why this reminder is so important. When you are with a group, mind your behavior. Because how you behave when no one's watching shows your character. But how you behave in a group, that reveals your integrity. In a group, it's easy to laugh at jokes that aren't kind. It's easy to go along with gossip, even when it doesn't sit right with your heart. It's easy to say or do things just to impress, even if it means stepping on someone else's dignity. But here's the truth. Fitting in at the cost of your values is never worth it. You don't need to change who you are to be accepted. Because the right people will respect you more when you choose respect. They'll admire your courage when you don't follow the crowd but follow your conscience. Let me tell you something. There was a time I stayed quiet in groups, not because I had nothing to say, but because I was afraid my truth would sound different. And one day I realized the world doesn't need more echo. It needs more voice. Your authentic, gentle, strong, and kind voice. So how do we mind our behavior in a group? Be aware, be present. Notice how your words, tone, and actions affect others. Are you lifting the room or draining it? Are you contributing to unity or division? Are you making people feel seen or invisible? Because one thing I've learned is this. People may not remember your name, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Your behavior in a group isn't just about manners, it's about impact. Be the one who speaks up for someone being left out. Be the one who includes the quiet voice. Be the one who leads with love, not pride. And if ever you find yourself in a group that pressures you to be someone you're not, that's your sign to stand tall, not shrink down. You don't have to act bigger to matter. You just have to be real, be kind, and be true. Because in a world where it's easy to follow the crowd, be the one who leads with character. 5, when you are in trouble, mind your emotions. Trouble comes to all of us. No one is exempt. Not the strongest, not the smartest, not even the kindest. Life has its way of testing us through pain, loss, failure, confusion. And in those moments, emotions run wild. Fear, frustration, hopelessness, anger, anxiety. That's why this principle is so important. When you are in trouble, mind your emotions. Because emotions are powerful. They can guide you or mislead you. They can protect you or paralyze you. Let me say this clearly. Your emotions are valid. You are allowed to feel sad. You are allowed to cry. You are allowed to break down. But what you must not do is let those emotions control your decisions. Because emotions are like weather, they change. And if you build your future based on a passing storm, you may destroy things that were never meant to be torn down. When you're in trouble, pause. Breathe. Feel. But don't be led only by what you feel. I remember a season in my life where everything felt like it was falling apart. Doors were closing, people were leaving. I felt like I was drowning in my own thoughts. And my emotions, they were screaming, give up, hide, run away. But something deep inside me whispered, this is not the end. This is the breaking before the breakthrough. And that whisper saved me. You see, emotions are signals, not commands. They tell you something's wrong, something's heavy, but they don't define the truth. In trouble, mind your emotions, but don't be ruled by them. Talk to someone, pray, journal, take a walk, let it out in healthy ways, not by hurting others or harming yourself. Don't make permanent decisions out of temporary emotions. And remember this, some of the greatest strength is shown in calmness, in stillness, in quiet faith that says, I don't understand everything right now, but I trust that this too shall pass. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed, but you are wise when you choose to respond with patience instead of panic. In the middle of chaos, you can still choose peace. You can still speak life over yourself. You can still hope. So when you find yourself in trouble, hold on. Stay grounded. Let your emotions flow, but don't let them flood. You've survived your worst days before. You'll survive this too. Because your emotions are not the end of your story. They're just a page in the chapter 6. When God starts blessing you, mind your ego. Let's be honest. We all want blessings. We pray for breakthroughs. We dream of success, abundance, recognition, influence, and there's nothing wrong with that. But here's the truth. Success can reveal you or it can expose you. Because sometimes when the blessings start flowing, we start forgetting. We forget where we came from. We forget the late nights, the silent prayers, the closed doors we once begged God to open. And worst of all, sometimes we forget God. That's why this final principle is so powerful. When God starts blessing you, mind your ego. Because your ego will whisper, this is all you. You earned this. You're better now. You don't need anyone else. But your spirit knows every good thing in your life is grace. It's not luck. It's not just hard work. It's not timing. It's God's hand lifting, guiding, preparing, and placing you where you are. And if you ever start to believe it's all because of you, that's when the blessings become burdens. You see, ego edges God out, but gratitude invites Him in. The higher you rise, the lower your heart should bow. Because God didn't bless you so you could look down on others. He blessed you so you could lift others up. He didn't bless you to boast. He blessed you to be a blessing. So when the applause comes, don't let it fill your head. Let it remind you this is His favor. When opportunities knock, don't just build your empire. Use those open doors to serve, to give, to lead with love. And always ask yourself, am I reflecting God's goodness or just my own glory? Because at the end of the day, the most blessed people are not those who have the most, but those who stay humble, stay grounded, and stay grateful. My friend, life will bring you to all kinds of seasons. You will have moments of loneliness, so mind your thoughts. Moments of laughter with friends, so mind your tongue. Moments of anger, so mind your temper. Moments in a crowd, so mind your behavior. Moments of trouble, so mind your emotions. And moments of great success, so mind your ego. Because these 6 principles, they're not just advice, they're anchors. They will keep you steady when life gets shaky. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be aware. You don't need to know all the answers. You just need to stay centered, stay kind, and stay true to who God made you to be. So live with wisdom, speak with love, walk with humility, and always, always Choose the kind of life that honors both people and purpose, because that is the most beautiful kind of success